good morning, good evening, depending on where you're watching me from. Today, welcome to SOP Online Conversation. This is actually our August edition, and I'm excited to be here. I hope you're excited. We've had an amazing journey this year, coming from January through February, March, April, May, June, July. This is August, and I'm excited. Last month, we had an amazing conversation on the terrific tools dealing with our toddlers. And I believe that every of our conversation is being impactful to us. We actually get tools and strategies and practical steps on how to parent better in our homes. So I'm excited that we're here today. If you're watching me, thank you. It's Gloria Sarema. I can see you. Thank you for joining in. We're going to be having an amazing conversation today, an amazing one. Something that is very critical we talk about when we're talking about dealing with childhood trauma. You know, most of the times, a lot of us were traumatized, but we do not know we're traumatized. And it has a way of affecting different aspects of our life, our physical life, emotional life, financial life, social life, and even our parenting life, the way we parent our children. So that is what we're going to be talking about today, dealing with childhood trauma, a topic that you are going to learn a lot from. It will be beneficial to you, it will be beneficial to those around you. So when you learn these things, you put them into practice and you become like what's the word, a wall of solution to other persons that may be going through the same challenge. So we're going to be talking about dealing with childhood trauma. I'm not going to waste our time today. I have a professional here to talk about it. So I'm just going to read her profile and I'm going to bring her into the stream. So quickly, she's a parent coach of the Masterful Parenting Program, a school counselor, teacher, and mom of two, which are over 20 years working with families. She has a passion for helping parents to gain confidence in their parenting. She has had over 15 years working with teens as a high school counselor. She knows what teens need, what they struggle with, and how they think and feel about things. In a Masterful Parenting Program, she helps parents to heal from their childhood pain so they can nurture healthy relationships with their children through relational parenting. So join me today as I bring on the stream Anne Alvares, the coming of Masterful Parenting. You're welcome.
Oh,
Room
nice
is
to
here.
meet
Room.
you. I'm so
Hello,
excited.
welcome, welcome,
Thank you, thank
welcome.
you. Oh,
So
this is
so
exciting.
nice for you to be joining us today. I'm so excited, so excited.
Thank you, thank you.
So welcome. We're gonna go straight into the comment. How was your day, first of all? How has your day been?
Oh, amazing.
Wow.
It's been an amazing day helping parents. It's been a great day for helping parents. Yeah. So, yeah, I've already done 2 recordings today. This will be my third,
Wow.
so I'm
Wow.
excited.
Wow. That's a
Yeah,
busy day.
yeah.
Okay. So quickly, we're going to be talking about dealing with childhood trauma, and it's something you do. You help people go through the process of healing from childhood pain, childhood hurt, or childhood trauma. So
Yes.
I believe that a lot of persons are going to be watching us today. Those that will go after today and watch will be persons that probably they are going through the journey of healing, or even parents that do not even understand that they are traumatized. You know, most times people are going through trauma and they do not know they are actually going through trauma. So I believe that today's conversation is going to be helpful to a lot of persons that will watch it. So thank you once again. So quickly, we're just going to the conversation. What is actually trauma? You know, most times we use some words and people do not actually know the meaning of the words. So what is trauma?
Yeah, I use trauma is a very strong word, right? In my parent coaching, I use the words childhood pain. And childhood pain has a range, right? But it's something
Okay.
that happened to us in our childhoods that we carry the pain of. We never healed it, and we carry it into our adult lives. That's basically what childhood pain is. And trauma is like something quite severe. So if you were abused emotionally, physically, or sexually, that's trauma. If there was
Okay.
a traumatic event that happened in your childhood, like the death of a loved one or a car accident or something that was beyond your control, and you never processed that, that is trauma. If you had any kind of bullying incident, maybe that happened with peer groups, and you felt like you never got help with that, that could be trauma too. That could be something that you carry with you into your adult life. So any, like, trauma is like the extreme pain of something that you experienced as a child and that it never got healing in your childhood. And so you carry that into your adult life.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so trauma is actually extreme. And the truth is that most of us parents actually go through childhood pain. There are certain things that
Yes.
we encounter while growing up that we never dealt with. And some of
Yes.
us actually went through the extreme part of trauma. Some of us were
Yes.
bullied. Some of us were, some parents were raped. Some parents
Yeah.
had severe losses
Yes.
that they couldn't deal with, and they had to enter into marriage or had children and became parents. So I think we're going to be flipping through both the childhood pain and the trauma, so that because I believe there's a person that will be watching that I've not gone through trauma in the sense of trauma, but I've gone through childhood pain and they've not
Yes.
dealt with it, and it's actually affecting their parenting. So,
Yes.
what are some of the signs of childhood pain or childhood trauma for a parent? Your parenting, and what are the signs you can see that you can, like, you are still undergoing childhood pain, you have not dealt with this pain, you have not dealt with this trauma?
Yeah. So it'll show up in our parenting because we will get triggered by our children. So, for example, if our children's having a temper tantrum and then we don't like it, it upsets us. We think, what's wrong with our kid? Why is our kid behaving this way? And then we personalize our children's behavior. Then we know that that's childhood pain. Or if you're really overly protective of your kids, right? Because you're scared. If you're parenting out of fear, that's coming from childhood pain or trauma. If you are having a hard time enjoying your children, you're very rigid. You have expectations of them. They should be doing this. They should be doing that. How come they're not doing this? If you're controlling, trying to control them all the time, telling them what to do all the time, that is childhood pain because you didn't feel in control in your childhood. And so you feel like you need to control your kids, or your parents controlled you. And so you're repeating that pattern with your own parenting. So if you're spoiling your child, if you're giving your child everything that you didn't have, that is also coming from a place of childhood pain because you were trying to fill up something that wasn't filled in you with your kids. So those are some examples.
Wow, that was a lot. As you mentioned some of them, I kept smiling because that means I think that a lot of parents are still have not healed from childhood pain, because where we are most times a lot of parents are very protective of their children, and
Yes.
I considering what you have said, I believe it's from where we're coming from. So we tend to want to control, want to be overprotective, want to
Yeah.
instruct every time of the day. You have to do this, you have to do that, and the rest. And like you said, a parent that easily gets triggered by tantrums, and that is why I believe a lot of parents scream and yell.
Yes.
The parents can't handle the tantrums, especially for the toddlers. You're like, oh
Yes.
my god,
Yes.
is a lot. So I believe that parents are watching. It's signs that you have not dealt with childhood pain. Parents who are protective, having unrealistic expectation from your
Yes.
children. I,
Yes.
I see some parents that were parented by parents that expected things from them that were unrealistic, and all their lives it was so rigid. Everything they had
Yes.
to do was like, you have to please mommy and daddy, you have to please mommy and daddy, this is the way it's supposed to be. And these same persons are beginning to parent their children in that same way, because
Yes.
they've not come out from the pain that this is what my parents did to me, accepting that I am going through pain and I have to deal with this pain. So it's very important that we understand this science, because if we do not understand the science, then we will not want to go through the process of healing, because we will
Yes.
feel it's normal. We feel it's a
Yes.
normal thing. And we begin to raise children that parent their children in the same way. So it becomes like a circle that we cannot break. So very
Exactly.
important.
Exactly.
I,
Yeah.
and you said something. Parents that spoil their children a lot. I never knew that. Actually, it's a sign of childhood pain when parents want to
Hmm.
give their children everything,
Yes.
everything they need. Wow,
Yes.
that's eye opening. That's eye opening. It actually is. It's
Spoiling is
eye
not
opening, because
good.
most times parents just want to give
Yeah.
that. Oh, I didn't have this when I was growing up. I just want to spoil my
Yes.
children. I just want to give everything to my children. It's a sign of childhood pain. Wow,
Yes.
well, that's
Yes,
eye
it
opening.
is.
Really eye really eye opening. If definitely, if these are the signs, then if we see this in our parenting journey, then our in quote trauma or childhood pain, it's actually affecting our parenting style. It's actually
Yes.
affecting our parenting style. So if we need to go through the healing process, what are some
Yes.
of the coping strategies, or what is the path to healing for a
Oh,
parent going through
good.
childhood pain or trauma?
Such a good question. So good. I'm just going to tell parents that I know this because I had trauma in my childhood, and I have gone through the process of healing it. So I'm speaking from personal experience. So I had abuse. I had abuse, and I had a very controlling parents. I never had a voice in my childhood. So as an adult, I didn't have confidence, and I felt like I didn't have a voice. I couldn't express my opinion about things because my parents gave me the message that my opinion didn't matter. So how did I heal it? I started by telling my story. And that is the first step to healing, because we have to unleash the story of our childhood so it doesn't live inside of us anymore. And we tell our story to someone who's safe. So it could be a friend, it could be a spouse, it could be a counselor, but we have to tell our story to someone who's going to listen, let us cry about it, and empathize with us, because that's what we need, right? We don't need someone judging or defending our parents. We need someone to hear us. And then once we tell our story, then we've released the story. Okay. Then the next part, and it takes a long time. Okay. Like it took me years to heal from my childhood. My childhood was like pretty extreme. It was, I would say, trauma, because of the abuse and the yelling in the home. Like my parents were very volatile with each other, and they had some very violent fights right at home. Um, so I was traumatized. But after I told my story, then I started working on the messaging that I gave myself. Because when we're kids, we have an internal dialogue of what we're experiencing. So my internal dialogue, and because you know what, kids never blame their parents. If they're punished, they blame themselves. They say, "I'm the bad person. I'm the one that's wrong. There's something wrong with me." And so I know this because of my counseling. Kids are always telling me when they're punished that they are the bad ones, even if their parents have abused them. And that was the same with me. Even though my parents were abusive with me, I always thought it was I was the problem, right? I'm the one doing
Yeah.
wrong. I'm the bad person. I'm not worthy. And so we have to change that messaging as adults. You are worthy. Your opinion does matter. You are loved. You should have been loved. You were a child.
Yeah.
Your parents' job is to love you, not to hurt you, right? When we
Yeah.
start to understand that it wasn't about us, but it was about our parents, and our parents probably have childhood pain, carried childhood pain, that's why it's generational, then we can start to change it and heal it. Because we're kids, so we don't know everything. And we make mistakes and then we're punished and then we think we're bad, but we're not bad. We're learning because we don't know because we're kids. So we have to change the messaging that we gave ourselves as children, and we need to reframe it into, I'm not bad, I'm good. I'm a good person and I was worthy of love. And I should have been loved and not abused. I shouldn't have been yelled at because that's unhealthy. My parents should have been more patient with me, right? And I'm not about blaming parents because I think that we are always learning on this parenting journey and we're not going to be perfect. And our parents did what they had to do because that's what they knew. But now we know better. We know that kind of parenting is not actually healthy and it's actually not good for our kids. So we have the power to change that and change generations so that we can be healthy with our kids and we can teach our kids to be healthy. So they're healthy with their kids and the pattern, the growth, generations change, right? This is how generations change. Yeah.
Very true. Very true. Tell your story. I think telling our stories is something that is, it takes a lot. It takes a lot for people to get to the point that they want to share what they've gone through. And I think one of the reasons why people find it difficult because, like you said, tell your story to a safe person. Most times people find it difficult to find someone they can trust, someone that will
Yes.
not be judgmental, someone that will
Yes.
not judge them and blame them for what happened to them. So I think that's what a lot of people face, a lot of challenge, finding the right person to tell your story to. So it's very important that I think is one of the foremost way to onboarding yourself when you share what you're going through. So everything is not just trapped within you anymore. So you begin to talk about it and it's like you're releasing tension and you're releasing a lot of emotions. And like you
Yes.
said, they said it's a process. Healing is a process. So we don't expect people to heal overnight. It
No.
takes, it's a
You're,
journey. So
yeah, it's a
it's a
journey.
journey, one step, yes, one step at a time. So we keep going. Then I like what you said that kids will always blame themselves for
Always.
whatsoever happens to them. And I think the blame, is it the blame game now? Is one of the ways I believe that people don't heal, because when people keep telling themselves, "I am responsible for this. I deserve this. I deserve to go through this pain. I deserve to have been traumatized. I deserve to have been treated this way." I think people don't heal when they feel that they are no good. So that's why when you said change the messaging you have about yourself, and I
Mhm.
think it boils down to even parents to children. Excuse me. When
Yes.
parents talk to their children, the kind of
Mhm.
words they say to their children, we need to
Yes.
positively affirm our children, not just
Yes.
randomly say things to them. Even if they
Mhm.
behave badly, the child is not a bad child. A child
No.
may behave badly, doesn't make the child a bad child. So we need to be
Yes.
able to change what we say to ourselves and what we say to our children, because it's actually part of the healing process. Actually, part of the
Yes.
healing process. Then,
Yes.
what when it gets to the point that if people have gone through this process, maybe it's what's the word, telling their story, changing the messaging they have about themselves, and it looks like they are not getting headway. Now
Yes.
you've talked to someone, you have tried to affirm yourself positively, but it looks like you're not still getting a headway, and it's like months are going into years, and you can still live above the pain or live above the trauma. Is there something else someone can do or engage in?
Well, okay, so we have to do the inner work as parents. Like we parent from the inside out. Okay? So if we're currently not feeling good about ourselves, if we're not confident, if we still have lots of doubts, and our self-esteem is not good, then we have to work on that. We have to work on, I'm going to change my messaging. I'm going to change the way I feel about myself, right? I'm going to change my relationship with me. And then once we are in a position of a power, strength, then we can parent better for our kids. And the other thing too is our triggers will show up. They still show up for me once in a while, even though I consider myself healed. But our kids will tell us if we're not being healthy with them. They will tell us in the way that they respond. In their words, they might say, "Mom, you're nagging too much. Mom, you're overprotective. I can do this." But we have to be open to listening to our kids, because our kids are actually part of the healing, our childhood, right? They're part of how we change things, because they will tell us. And we have to have an open environment where we're willing to listen to our children. Even though we weren't listened to as children, we can listen to our kids, because they're going to help us to change. So being aware is super important. Um, Taking care of yourself, how you feel about you. So I believe in daily self-care for parents. I believe every day you need to have a moment of taking care of you, doing something that makes you feel good. You know, it could be meditation, it could be prayer, it could be going for a walk, it could be having some girlfriend time, like having time with your friends. Whatever fills you up, you should make time for that every day. Doesn't have to be hours. It could be just like 10 minutes. But you need to make time to feel good every day. Because when you feel good, you're going to parent better. You're going to parent the best when you feel good.
When you feel good, you're going to parent better. Because it's actually true. When you feel good about yourself, it actually affects the way you relate with other persons. And now, when it comes to parenting your children, even your spouse, so it's very important we feel good. And we, like you said, self care. We must feel ourselves on a daily basis, because I think most parents are consistently drained. So
Yes.
you keep giving, and there's no refilling. And so it's frustrating. And before you know, there's always this agitation, this anger. You're always looking for someone to latch on, or someone to just scream on. So,
Yeah.
like you said, we need to continually feel ourselves, no matter how little it is. Every day, we must give our self care. We must take care
Yes.
of ourselves. It's priority. We can't effectively take care of our children if we're not taking care of ourselves.
I
We can't.
agree.
We must take care of ourselves first before we can care for our children. Then, like what you said about listening to our children, when you said that, like, our children may not look like, is it the word accountability partners? They make you
Yes.
accountable for your actions.
Yes.
Because, but the first thing is that we must be willing to let them speak. Because
Yeah.
most parents shut their children down. Like, you don't even,
Mhm.
what are you saying? You don't have an understanding. From where I come from, most parents will not give their children the opportunity to speak up, because
Yeah.
it looks like I'm your parents. What do you know? It's just
I
that,
know better. Yeah.
yes, as the years go by, a lot of parents are beginning to change their perspective about parenting. So it's
Yes.
very important that we are open to listen to our children, because they can help us to be accountable for our emotions, accountable for
Yeah.
our decisions. So your child is saying, "Mom, you're screaming." Don't say, "Ah, I'm screaming. Why should I not scream?" Listen. So it's
Yeah.
very key that we're open. And like you said, the change starts from inside out. We should have a
Yeah.
healthy self-esteem.
Yeah.
Childhood pain and trauma actually abuses, or what's the word, or makes us lose our esteem, self-esteem as
Yes.
individuals. Can
Yeah.
it makes us lose our self-esteem. You're no more confident in yourself. You feel you're no good. But the truth is
Yeah.
that people have a role to play. But when it comes to a healthy self-esteem, we play the major role, because of
Yeah.
how we think of ourselves,
Yes.
how we see ourselves, and our children will learn from us. And before
Yes.
we know, if we do not have a healthy self-esteem, we'll begin to raise children that are timid, children that are
Mm.
not comfortable in their skins, children that are fearful, children that do
Yes.
not have the boldness to speak. So it is very important, very important. Someone wrote on the comment section and says, "Yes, ma'am, we must take good care of ourselves for us to be able to care for our children." Very
Yes.
important, very important.
Yes.
So now, when we go through the process of trauma and pain, a lot of people go through a sense of guilt.
Yes.
Some people go through shame.
Yeah.
Some people go through anger, and it lives with them through their lives.
Yeah.
So, how can people deal with this? The problem of guilt, the problem of shame, the problem of anger. And you find it in parents that they are so angry, and even the children have not even done something wrong, and they are flipping. Something that
Yeah.
will not even make a parent to be angry, like this little thing, and you're already angry. So, how can parents deal with that sense of guilt, of shame, of anger based on the fact that probably they've been traumatized or they've gone through pain in their childhood?
I think, you can feel your emotions. I want to tell you, parents, it's really important to feel your emotions. Because when you were a child, you probably couldn't express the anger. And that's why you are carrying it, right? We have to express our emotions to be healthy. If we're not allowed to express our emotions as kids, then it'll show up in our adult lives as depression, as anger, as bitterness. It'll show up. So we have to allow our children to show all their emotions: anger, sadness, frustration. Allow them to show their emotions, and you feel your emotions. You can say, I'm angry, I feel really angry. And you can express it like in a healthy way. Here's the thing: it's okay to be angry, but it's not okay to be abusive to someone else, to yell at someone else, or to damage things, damage people, or damage things. When we express anger, we need to release it. So sometimes it's a physical thing, like I need to go for a walk, I need to go for a run. Um, or sometimes it's just like, I need to calm myself down. I need to go to the bathroom and have a moment of calm and breathe. And then once we're in that state of emotion, um, our brain, it does not work properly. It goes into that flight, freeze, um, part of the brain, the part of the brain that is about survival. So we can't think logically. So we have to express the emotion, then we need to calm ourselves down. Then we can think properly and say, okay, why was I angry? What happened there? How come that made me so upset? When did I feel like this in my childhood? Right? Disrespected, not heard in my childhood. Oh, it's because when I was a kid, my mom used to do this to me, yell at me or get mad at me, or didn't let me speak. That's why I'm getting upset, because my child told me to shut up, right? Something like that. And so then, oh, that's why I'm getting triggered, because that's how I felt. I felt disrespected as a kid. And then we can say, okay, but I'm not that 7-year old anymore. I'm an adult. I have control. I can speak. And then, so then we're reframing, we're changing the way we think about it. Okay, so now it's not about me. My child is not trying to be disrespectful. My child has a need that needs filling, and I need to find out what that need is and help that child. Once we stop making it about us and we make it about our children, then we do the best parenting ever, because now we're looking for, what does my child need and how can I give it to my child? So maybe your child needs understanding. Maybe your child needs to be heard, listened to. Maybe your child needs some freedom because you're controlling them too much. But you need to find out, we as parents need to find out, what do our children need? And then our job is to give them what they need so that they feel filled emotionally, in all ways. And that's how we raise healthy adults, because we're filling their needs as their kids, right? So they're not going to
Yeah.
be looking for those needs as adults because it's already been filled.
Well, express our emotions in a healthy way. That's a lot, because most times when you're
You can find a
angry,
pillow.
you just blow up the leads. I
You
was
can
like, you
punch
don't
a
even think of.
pillow. Yeah, it's okay. You can do that.
You just love that. You don't even think of, what is the healthy way to express these emotions. Sometimes when your children are getting on your nerves, and you're like, oh my god, before you know, you're screaming, you're shouting, you're yelling. But it's even better when we express our emotions in a healthy way. It helps us even health wise, and it also helps to make us connect more with our children and maintain our relationship with
Yeah.
our children. And like what we say, a parent is a role model to a child. So the way we react to situations, we are licensing our children to react in the same way. So it's like, it is okay to behave in this way when you encounter such situations. So now, when it comes to our children, for example, you have maybe toddlers or even preteens and teenagers.
Teenagers, yeah.
How can we teach them? One of the ways I know is modeling. How can we show them or teach them how to express their emotions in a healthy way? Because they have emotions too. Sometimes
Yeah,
they need to communicate to us. How
yeah.
can we teach our children? What strategies can we show them? This is how to express yourself in a healthy way. When you're angry, when you feel sad, when you're upset, this is the way to go. This is how to express your emotions if we have for children.
Okay, so it depends on the age, but I'm a relational parent, so I'm always building relationship with my kids. And if they do something like they get really angry, okay, I'll give you an example. Like, let's say that my son is really angry and he slams the door in his room, right? Slams the door because he's not happy with what I told him, right? I'm
Yeah.
gonna give him space to feel those emotions, but I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna try. So I might open the door and say, honey, um, I can tell that you're really angry. Do you want to talk about it? Tell me what you're angry about. And then if he feels safe with me as a parent, he's going to tell me. If he doesn't feel safe, he won't tell me. And then I know that I have to work on the relationship, right? So
Yes.
my kids are very close to me. So he'll tell me, you know, mom, when you did this or you nagged at me, and then I listen. I listen to what he's telling me, right? Because he's also teaching me, right? That this is what's upsetting me, mom. Okay, so then after that, after we talk about it, then I say to him, okay, honey, I totally believe in apologizing to our kids. Okay, honey, I didn't mean to upset you. Okay, but this is what I'm worried about, or this is what I was thinking about. Um, how can I get you to eat your vegetables, right? Without nagging you. How can I do that? Because I want you to eat healthy. What can you, and you involve your child in problem solving. Honestly, this builds confidence. When you even at any age, when you start involving them in problem solving, then they get confident because then they become problem solvers. They'll become like, oh, I need to figure this out. Maybe we could do this, right? So
Yeah.
involve them in the problem solving and say, do you think you could have like maybe one vegetable, or maybe you can tell me the three vegetables that you like, and I will always have them in the fridge for you. How about that? Will that work? And then then they buy in. They're like, yeah, yeah, mom, get me broccoli and corn and this. Okay, I can do that, right? So you're
Yeah.
working with your child instead of telling them, because we were brought up with telling. You
Yes.
do
Yes.
this. You
Yes.
do that. You listen, because I'm your parent. You listen to me. But that doesn't build relationship, because we don't want a relationship with a dictator. We
Mm.
want a relationship with someone who loves us and cares about us. But honey, I love you. I always say, use a feeling statement. Honey, I love you and I want you to be healthy. So I want you to eat properly so you're healthy. Right? That feels good. That feels way better than you eat your vegetables. Right?
Very true. Feels better. Very true.
Yes. It feels good. Yeah.
There's actually a question someone is asking. It says, but how do you gain them back when they don't feel okay telling you what the problem is? Even when you obviously see they are angry.
Okay.
How? They are not comfortable telling, especially for young adolescents.
Okay. We're not going to focus on our kids' behavior. Okay, so all behavior is communication, right? So if our child is angry, they're communicating something to us. If they don't tell us, it's because either they don't feel safe, or they don't think we can handle it. Like maybe we haven't shown strength in our parenting, and they're like, "Oh, mom's going to flip out. I can't be honest with mom." Right? So that's why we have to parent from a place of strength, giving them the message that I love you unconditionally and we can solve this. It doesn't matter what you did. I will always love you and I am here to help. Okay. So if we have that messaging with them and they're still not ready to tell us, then we give them a space. But we keep trying. We keep saying, honey, you seem still angry, and I really would like to help you. I don't want you living your life being angry. Is there something I can do to help you? What would help? This is the dialogue. I give parents the words all the time because we didn't grow up with these words. So it doesn't come naturally, but it comes naturally to me because I've been counseling for over 15 years. And this is how I talk to my students, right? And this is what opens the door to conversation is when we say, honey, I'm worried about you angry. I don't want you living your life in anger. Do you think we can talk about it? Do you want to talk to me about it? Or what can I do to help you? Because I want to help you. I love you. That feels good to a kid, right? And that will open, that will start opening. You're planting seeds. As a parent, you're always planting seeds, right? I love you. I want to help you. I don't want you living this way. It's not good for you, honey, right? So we're planting seeds. So then he's thinking, yeah, I don't want to be an angry person my whole life. Maybe I'll talk to mom about it, right? We're planting that seed and we're giving it time to take root.
Wow. Well, a lot. I believe that, like you said, when children do not want to open up to their parents, two things: they don't feel safe, they don't feel they can trust you enough, and the second thing you said, probably they feel you don't have the solution to their problems. Now,
Right.
I feel parents must have good connection with their children. You don't expect a child to be open to you or confide in you, a child you have never connected with.
Yes.
It's connection first. It's connection first. You must
100%.
connect with that child. When there's
Yep.
connection, when there is trust, your child will open up to you. They may not be in a good mood at that instance, but they will definitely open up to you. So parents
Yep.
need to work on themselves. You need to work on your own self. You need to work on be strategic and intentional in building the relationship between yourself and your child. It
Yep.
doesn't just happen because you are the father or the mother. You expect that you must have a relationship with your child. It doesn't happen like that. It is
Yes.
work. It is hard work. You must be
It
intentional
is.
in connecting with your children. And
Yeah.
when that intentionality is in place, there's connection and they can open up to you because they trust you. So
Yes.
connection is key in parenting. You want to be a successful parent, you must connect with your children. That's the greatest way
Yes.
you can impact them, you can influence them, and you can lead them in the right path. So I think that will help. That will help. So when when we talk about childhood pain and trauma, confronting or speaking with the abuser, for example, somebody that has abused you or had caused you the pain, or had, taking you through the path of trauma, if you confront such person or open up to the person and you have a dialogue with that person about your pain and the trauma you're going through, does it help in any way? Does it help?
It just depends. I'm going to say you don't necessarily have to if you want, like, for the healing journey. But I will just share, like, I did have a conversation with my mom. I could not have a conversation with my dad, but my dad abused me, right? When I was a child sexually. But I couldn't have a conversation with him because he passed away when I was 21. So then, because he passed away, I decided that I'm going to have the conversation with my mother because my mom's still alive and I want to be able to talk to her about it. But the key with having the conversation is not to blame and not to get angry. It's a sharing. So the way I did it, because I didn't want to hurt my mom. Honestly, parents, I'm going to tell you, our kids don't want to hurt us. They love us so much, even if you've abused them, right? I was abused by my parents, but I still didn't want to hurt my mom as an adult. I wanted to protect her. And that's what kids are like. They want to protect our feelings, right? So I said to my mom, I'm not blaming you, but I just want to share with you how I felt as a kid. That was the way I opened the conversation. And I said, I just want you to know that I wasn't happy in my childhood. My childhood was not happy. When I think about my childhood as an adult, I feel sad. And that opened the conversation to my mom. My mom acknowledged it. I mean, it was a good conversation. My mom was ready, but she also defended herself. And so I'm going to tell you, parents, you might get that. this defense, right? But you can come up with a million excuses as to why you didn't give your child what they needed. I was working, I was a single mom, I was this, I was that. You can give a million excuses, but honestly, parents, our job is to give our kids what they need. So if we're not giving them what they need, then we're not doing our job as parents. No excuses. So I didn't buy into my mom's excuses because I was still her daughter, and she should have given me the love that I needed as a kid, right? Because that's what we need. So, yes, you can confront if you're strong enough and you feel like you can. But if you're in that still that pain, like I already had counseling by the time I confronted my mom. So I was in a place of peacefulness and healing. I wasn't in an angry place. You can't confront when you're in an angry place. You need to have processed all of that first before you confront your parents with your pain. Yeah, it could be helpful. It's not necessary though. But I will tell you what is necessary, and it's part of the healing journey. And I know it's hard. I know it's hard. I know it's hard, parents. Is forgiveness. You have to be in a place of forgiveness. If you hold on and you don't forgive, you are going to carry that into your parent life. It takes that bitterness, that resentfulness, that anger takes space away from you truly loving your own children. So you have to get to that place of forgiveness. And you don't forgive for them, you forgive for you, because you are releasing the anger, the hurt. You're releasing it so that you can love your children better, right? And love yourself better.
So true, so true, so true. You've said a lot of things, a lot of things that are very important in our journey as parents. And one of them you have said is that we don't have excuses as parents. No excuse is valid enough for us not to provide for the needs of our children. And I believe that needs goes beyond providing clothes,
Yes,
providing
that's what they say.
shelter. It
Yeah,
goes beyond that. We need to provide love for them. They need to feel secure. They have to know that they can trust us. They can believe in us. They can lean on us. And most times, I think parents, we have so many excuses why we can't do a lot of things. And most times, replace. Somebody said something that you can't replace. Use presents, that's gifts, to replace presents. So most times we tend to shower our children with a lot of physical things, and we neglect that they need us first. They need us. They need our time. They need our affection. They need our love. They need us to be present. So we
yeah,
don't really have excuses. When we decided to become parents, well,
yeah,
we should know that it's a lot of responsibility. Parenting
yes,
is responsibility, a lot of responsibility, and God has entrusted us with individuals. He has entrusted us with the destinies of people. He has
yes,
entrusted us with generations, and we cannot fail. We can't fail. We can't fail God. We can't fail ourselves. We cannot fail our children. And like you
yes,
said, you can't confront from a place of anger. You must deal with anger, because I believe that when you go with anger, you spoil the things more. That you will not even get a headway in your
yeah,
conversation. It will not like back and forth, blaming yourself. This is what you did, and you leave them more angry, and you leave them more upset, and you leave them
yes,
more injured.
yeah,
So it's better you have settled certain things within yourself if you have to confront your abuser or the one that inflicted pain on you. Then the last
yeah,
thing you said that really touched me is forgiveness.
yeah,
Forgiveness is key. And you said you forgive for yourself. For
hmm,
yourself. Forgiveness is for you first, not for the next person. It's
yeah,
for you.
yeah,
When we forgive people, there's this lightness we feel. You feel a
yes,
sense of relief, as if you are
mhm,
relieved when you forgive people. Because it's like, I feel like when I forgive someone, I feel like a burden has been lifted off my shoulders. So it's like I'm free. It's like you put a bird in a cage, and all of a sudden
yeah,
you open up the cage and the bird is free to fly. That's what forgiveness does for us. So
yes,
every one of us that are going through childhood pain or trauma, the first thing, forgive yourself, forgive the person. It sets you free. It sets you free. That's
Absolutely.
That's so great.
Absolutely.
So it's very important, very
Excellent.
important. So in our journey of healing, are there certain challenges we can face, or it's just a smooth journey all through? Do we encounter challenges? Are we going to encounter challenges? Just like I decide now I want to be healed, and it's just going to be a walk in the park.
No, our healing journey is going to continue throughout our lives. It really is, right? Because our experiences as children are imprinted in our brains. They say like from 0 to 8 or 9 years old, that's the messaging that happened in that time. What we experienced we carry throughout our lives, because I don't know, something to do with the brain development. Those imprints uh, are instrumental in how we see ourselves and we see the world. So it's going to show up. Like I will tell you, parents, I consider myself healed. I've forgiven my parents. I've confronted my mom. I've changed the relationship with my mom. I'm very aware as a parent what I'm doing. I adopt self-care. I do all of the things, but sometimes things still show up. Like um, I remember a friend of mine said, "Oh, you're like," he used the word beautiful. He said, "Oh, you're beautiful," and then I was like, "No, I'm not." And then I went home. I went home that night, and I was like, why did that word trigger me? What happened? And then I realized that when I was a kid, my mom never called me beautiful, but she always said my cousin was beautiful. And so that word triggered me. And it was like the feeding that self-doubt that I had about my life, right? The messaging that I got, that I gave myself from from my childhood experience, my mom praising my cousin's beauty and never saying I was beautiful. Okay, so I realized that night it was coming from that pain. And then I said, I'm gonna heal it. I am beautiful. I'm gonna take that word and I'm gonna adopt it and say, yes, I am. Thank you. Right? And that's how we heal. We challenge that, right? We say, no, I am actually that person. I am actually smart. I am actually beautiful. I am actually worthy. We challenge it and we adopt this new identity once we realize that it was showing up from our childhood pain, you know? So it's a
Yeah,
process.
yeah, very,
It's
very
just,
important. So
yeah, being
important.
aware and stay on the journey, right? Stay on the journey.
Well, stay on the journey. So our healing journey continues throughout life. There sometimes you
Throughout
remember,
life.
some things will trigger you again, but you keep
Yeah.
going through the journey, keep being on the path of
Yes.
healing. Now, like
Yes.
what you said, I would like to say to parents out there, let's be careful not to compare our children. Every child
Yes.
is unique.
Yes.
Children are unique. Even when you have more than one child, every one of them is unique.
Yeah.
You can't compare them.
No.
There's no basis for comparison. There's no basis. Every child has their strengths and their weaknesses. So we must appreciate the child we have. You know, most times
Yes.
as parents, we don't appreciate the child we have. We're looking forward to the child we expected we should have had. You know,
Imagine.
most
Yeah, the child that we
for
imagine.
example, a parent a parent a parent thinks that I'm supposed to have given birth to a genius. And all of
Yeah.
a sudden, you have a child that is struggling in school and
Yeah.
finds it difficult to match up when it comes to academics. So
Yeah.
appreciate the child you have. And
Yes.
when you do that, you'll be able to walk that child through the process of growth. Then
Yeah.
tend to keep craving for the child that you expected you should have had.
Yeah.
Because when you connect with that child and go through that growth process, you can actually bring that child from where the child is to where you think the child should be. So
Yes.
it's very important. Let's understand our children are unique. They are unique in their own rights. They have
And
different
all
purposes to fulfill.
our
It's
kids
very
are
important.
different. We can have, like, I have two children. They're totally opposite from each other. I I do not parent them the same way, right? Because
Yes.
I have to adjust my parenting with the youngest. Um, and I was more controlling with my first one. So I mean, I've been learning as the process goes on, but my second one is definitely more challenging than my first one. So I have to change. I have to be like more aware, more patient, all of that stuff, right? You know?
True.
Yeah.
True. We parent every child to be parented in a every child has different ways you parent them. So you can't say, okay, the way I parented the first should be the way I parent the second. And
Yeah.
that's why parenting is hard work. Parenting is
It is.
hard work.
It is.
A lot
It
of
is.
work. You must
Yes.
understand your children and you must parent them based on the understanding you have about them. So parenting is
Yes.
actually hard work. So we're gradually winding up this conversation and it has been an exciting one.
Aw.
I have I have learned a lot and I believe that those that are watching they are learning and even those
Thank
that
you.
will watch they will learn. I've learned a whole lot today. I've learned a whole lot.
Aw,
Uh,
thank
so
you.
now, in the journey of healing, how do we celebrate our small victories? I believe that when you are going through a journey, you there are times that you make a headway, and when you
Yes.
celebrate yourself, it gives you the motivation to keep going on that journey. So we don't beat ourselves down. So how can we motivate ourselves even as we go through this healing journey? How can we motivate ourselves to keep pushing on and keep going further?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, okay, so the key is to focus on the relationship that you have with yourself, and the relationship that you have with your child or children. So if you're focusing on that, you're like, I'm gonna really be intentional on feeling good about myself because I didn't feel good about myself when I was a kid. So I'm going to feel good in my adult life, right? I'm going to feel strong, happy. I'm going to focus on being happy because I wasn't happy as a kid, right? So we're consciously making ourselves a priority in feeling good, and we celebrate by doing things that make us feel good, right? We surround ourselves with people who make us feel good. We don't keep going back to the toxic people. We find people that are uplifting and that are our cheerleaders. I have a tribe myself, right? Like what I didn't get from my family, I have from my friends. I got blessed by amazing friends, that love me and take care of me. They're always there for me. So we can do that. We can start looking in our communities, in our churches, for people who really can fill us with what we didn't have as children, right? And spend
Yeah.
time with those people, the uplifting people that want to see you succeed, that want to see you happy, right? And then with our kids, we're always aware that we want our children to feel good around us. We want our children to feel good with us. And so we have to create memories of that laughter, joking around, hugging them, connecting with them, loving on them, sharing, getting them to share their stories, because that feels good. And you want to be around someone that makes you feel good. So you have to be that as a parent. You have to be the person that makes your children feel good because then they're going to want to be with you, right? So be around people that make you feel good, and you be a person that makes your kids feel good so they want to be around you, right? And every day you should celebrate you, because if you came from childhood trauma and you came from
Trash.
from hurt,
Yeah.
you deserve to be happy. And you have
True.
a choice now because you're an adult, right? You're an adult now. So you have a choice to be happy. Make the choice. Make the choice. I don't want to sit in bitterness. I don't want to sit in anger. I want to sit in joy. Today, I want to feel joy. Every day, I want to feel joy.
Yeah. Make the choice to be happy. Celebrate yourself every day. Prioritize taking care of yourself. Trash toxic people. You don't need toxicity around you. So, trash toxic people, those people that put you down, please leave their circle. And it's very important we have a healthy support system.
Oh no. Guess we went over.
Sorry for that
That's
network
okay.
glitch. I'm
Okay.
back.
Yeah.
So sorry. So trash toxic people, you don't need those kind of people around. You need people that will lift up your spirit, say the right things, have a healthy support system. Nobody can do life themselves. You can't do
Yes.
life yourself. You
No.
need a healthy support system around you. So please find a healthy support system from your church,
Yeah.
from wherever. People you can trust,
Your
people you can
community.
confide in, people that make you feel good.
Yeah.
Not people that make you feel like trash. Very
Yes.
important. Then I'll say that for if you feel that you're highly traumatized and you may have to seek professional help.
Yes.
Yes, you may have to seek professional help, talk to someone. Now, our guest, Alvares, is a professional in this, in dealing
I
with
can help
childhood
you.
trauma.
Yes. Yes.
So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna share how you can contact her. So if you need to speak to someone, you can contact her and speak with her. It's very important. So after this conversation, I'm going to drop it. Send us how you can get through to her because please, you need people. You need to talk to someone. If you're really traumatized, don't keep your problems to yourself. You
Right.
may just be one step away from your help. Share your problems and talk to people that have the experience, the skill to help you. Don't just talk randomly with people that will give you more problems. So I'm going to share how you can contact her if you need to speak with a professional. So
Thank you.
this conversation has been an amazing one, and we have
Oh,
had an
thank you.
amazing time. Yes, personally, I've had an amazing time, and I know everyone watching has had an amazing time. So before we sign up, I just want you to just speak to those listening or those watching and those that can watch. Anything you want to say to them, anything that you feel will be lifting, edifying, that will help them through their parenting journey.
I want parents to know that you are worthy. Your life is meaningful, and you have a gift, and the gift is your child, your children. So treasure that gift, nurture relationships with them, and in the process, you will grow and heal, and will not regret it. Once you start focusing on relationship with your kids, you are going to get so many blessings from them.
Thank you so much. As a parent, you're worthy. Treasure the gift you have. Your children are gifts from God to you. And like I will always say, as parents, we are stewards. We don't own our children. We are
Yes,
stewards. We're caretakers, and we'll give an account to God on how we parent them. So thank you
yes.
so much, Anna.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
I appreciate you. Looking forward to have you more in our conversations.
Love it.
It will
Love
not be
it.
a one-time thing. It cannot be a one-time thing. We need to bring you back another day because seriously, we have been lifted, we have been educated, we have been enlightened. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, and
Thank
do have a
you.
wonderful
Okay,
day.
have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. So it has been an amazing conversation today, and I believe every one of us have been enlightened, educated, impacted. And for those of us that have been going through childhood pain, you've been experiencing it in your life, changing your life, childhood trauma, it is time to start that healing process. It's time to take work and that healing journey because I believe, like you said, you are worthy. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to enjoy life. You deserve to be celebrated. So it is time to start the healing journey. And like you said, it's a lifetime journey. So when you fall, dust yourself up, you stand up again. So it has been an amazing conversation. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Omo Evie. Thank you, my amazing husband, Reverend Christian Ahmed. I know you're here. I see you. I see you. Thank you, Success Godwin. Thank you, Itoa Sareme. Thank you, everyone that joined. Mrs. Frances Olisaka. Thank you so much, ma. Dr. Frances Olisaka. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining this conversation. As many of us that joined that have not called your name, thank you so much. I believe that we have learned. Please let us share our Facebook handle with our friends, our families. You can go back and replay this conversation. You can find it on our Facebook page, which is School of Parenting SOP. You can go back and listen to these conversations. You can also listen to our previous conversations since we started School of Parenting online conversation. Now, this conversation is brought to you by School of Parenting, and I believe, and it's a monthly conversation, it happens every month. I believe that even as we continue, you're being educated, it makes your parenting journey easier. If you have questions, you can send me a message. If you have what words, you have victories, you have wins based on what you are learning from our conversation, please do send me a DM. I would really appreciate that. So thank you, everyone. We're going to be having another conversation next month, and I believe you're going to be part of that conversation. You're going to share the gospel of SOP Online Conversation. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night's rest, or a good afternoon, or a good morning, depending on where you're watching me from. So it is bye from now. I am Kitty Ahmed, the convener of School of Parenting. Bye, everyone.